After days of dumpage in the Solana price, we appear to be making what looks like some sort of a comeback. Why are we seeing this push back in the Solana price? What is going to happen from now on? In today's episode, we're going to look at the Solana price prediction, as well as the Solana US dollar and Solana Bitcoin chart to see exactly what I think is going to happen in the Solana price. Before we get started, guys, I want to say thank you for hitting 10,000 subscribers. In the future, when we start to hit 11, 12,000, I'm going to be giving giveaways, so make sure you're hitting the likes and subscribe button if you want to be kept up to date with all of the latest happening in the crypto markets. Without further ado then, let's jump into the Solana chart for today. So guys, if you watched yesterday's video, I told you that we were in a descending wedge, and if we could maintain levels above around the $125 to $130 level, which we did, then we would be pushing back towards the upside. And let's take a look at that now. Then we are likely to then see a push back towards this area here. Now obviously nothing is guaranteed, and it would then need to break through this level in order to confirm somewhat of a breakout back towards an upside move. Okay guys, so as you can see, what we talked about yesterday was being able to break through this crucial level here, and as you can see, back a few hours ago we had this big push all the way up from the $145 all the way up to around 156, and we continue to sort of roll over here. But what we are starting to see is some key resistance here, and if we look back through time, we had resistance multiple times through this area, and in the past we found resistance here before flipping it into support. So this is obviously a substantial area for us to be looking at right now. What we do often see when we have these breakouts is we do come up to a position around this sort of level where we will test it, and we can potentially just break straight through it. But what happens more often than not is we do then roll back down to retest it, and what we will likely see is if we can hold a level of support at above the $145 level and we maintain closes outside of that, then we are going to see a bit of a push back towards the upside, in my opinion. If we take a Fibonacci from this swing high all the way down to the recent swing low, you can see that we got some key target areas for us to potentially be looking at. At the moment, we're sort of dead set in the middle of this range. As I mentioned, if we do come back down, it might be likely that we can hold around the 0.236, which would be $152. And if we look back, we found support here, here, and here again, showing that this is potentially a very key area. If we are to continue to push back towards the upside, then the 0.382 will likely hold some resistance for us here, which we can see here right now. So in terms of what's happening in the shorter term, basically what we can see at this level and this level is going to be very key for us. If we're able to push and break through this level, then in my opinion, we're going to continue up towards our target price, which I will show you later. And if we drop down, we potentially will hold above this level. As long as we hold above that level, then things are looking extremely bullish in the short term for the Solana price, in my opinion. Jumping back to Solana, in my opinion, you know, it's always better to wait for the next train. In the past, when we saw this big pump, you see a lot of people jumping on the train and perhaps getting themselves burned. But you know, when we see these big pumps in the shorter term like this, they do have to have a bit of a cool off, and in my opinion, this potentially would provide us with a fantastic buying opportunity around the 152. But where are we likely to see this chart pattern take us if we are to fulfill this breakout? Now guys, what we do want to often do is take from the top of this pattern. Now I can see that this pattern obviously could be drawn in a number of different ways, where we've had various sort of tops, etc. So it is going to be somewhat of a rough pattern, but we'll take it from the top of this all the way down to the bottom of the swing low, which happened yesterday, and then we can move that across to our breakout point over here. And you can see that we are now then looking at the $224 level. Now, obviously, that's not going to happen overnight. This is obviously taking a good piece of time to cool off and come down to these levels, and we do have a lot of levels on the way up. So ideally, we will be looking to come back towards these levels at $230. And I did mention in yesterday's video that when we're down here and everyone thinks that we're going to fall off a cliff, actually that feeling of fear that's seen in the majority of the market does tend to mean we're actually due to come back around and do the opposite of what everyone is thinking. So whenever you're reading things on Twitter, things on YouTube comments, etc., telling everyone that, you know, you must buy now, it's going to go to the moon, then actually that's when you want to be selling perhaps. And when you see everyone panicking telling you that it's going to dump down to well below $100, etc. in the price of Solana, then that's probably when we want to start accumulating. And as you can see, if you were to have done that yesterday, then you would be up a good deal today, probably around 7 or so percent, which is obviously great news. If we look down at the RSI, we can see that we are a little on the overbought side, which is indicating to me that unless we are able to break through this very recent high we put in here, then we are going to cool off to the 0.236 before moving back up. Guys, hope you've enjoyed today's video. Please smash the like for the YouTube algorithm. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button to be kept up to date with all of the latest happening in Solana as well as other cryptos. Thanks very much for watching. Bye-bye.